Welcome to all the classic car enthusiasts. I'm on the Jag again. My wife's been down here for a few days and we've been busy doing a few bits and pieces, and she's gone away to get some work done in Vienna. So now I've got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and I'll go back up to Vienna on Tuesday so I can kind of get on with things. It's lovely having it here, but it's nice to be able to work whenever I can. I've put a bit of thought, because the last day I haven't done anything. I had a bit of time off with her, and I've been thinking about this lip. You know, I talked about maybe putting it on and then lead loading it afterwards, or possibly making this edge first. So what I've done is I've done a little test piece to remake the edge. The first thing I actually did was took it over and put the Tonneau back onto the car to see where we are with it, and it sits pretty well. We really need two people to get it in place, and I'll use a special pinning system which I'll put on the video to lock it into place. You use little 3mm holes or 2mm, and you can lock the whole thing into place, but I'll show that when I'm doing it. Anyway, so I thought, you know, I really need to kind of recreate this. And the other thing is this is all going to have stone chip on it, all here, well, everything underneath is going to have stone chip. And so that little gap there, which was there originally, will be stone chipped anyway. So I thought, yeah, well, perhaps I should try and make the edge nicer before I put it on. So I'm going to pick the camera up and I'll show you how this one looks, and then what I'm trying to recreate with lead. So okay, so I'll put this light on because it is a bit dark in here with the other light going. Hang on. Excuse me for a second. And you can see there how, you know, you've got this lip, and then the lip on the other side, and then the piece in between is the bit on top, if you know what I mean. So it's kind of sandwiched in between there. And so what I'm trying to do is to kind of recreate that, you know, all the way down. You can see how it sits, and you can see it wasn't that well put on. It's only tacked in. Let me bring that around there a bit. You can see it's only tacked every so often, so it's not all the way around. So in fact, it's actually stronger, I would think, with the lead. Anyway, and you can see how it sits. It all needs cleaning up. There's a few bits and pieces that are a bit nasty, but we can clean all that up. But generally it's in very, very good condition, really, considering it's 59 years old. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll take you on to the other piece. Let me just turn this light off and I'll show you what I've done here. So the idea is I cleaned all this piece out, and then what I did was I put a piece of metal. I've got a lot of this because I had a load of it cut at 3 meters long and 3 centimeters width, and I had loads of it cut because he just put it through his guillotine for me. And this was just to show you kind of how I did it. This is the piece I did it with, and as you can see, it's a bit bent and a bit gnarly now. But because obviously while it was still hot, I still had to kind of break it off to make the edge. So this is what it would look like. So this is the metal that's on the back of the car, on that edge over there. This is representing this, and you can see that gap there, or that across there, is just flush. So I'll take these off just to show you, what we're talking about. So there you can see there's that new edge I've built here. Underneath it was all welded in, and this is the lead I've just put into it now. Doesn't look awful pretty, but certainly substantial from what it was. It looks, I mean, when you take it down and you start to come down to the bit where I've stopped, which is fairly obvious here, and you can see there, I'll take this one off. In fact I won't, I'll just show you. So you can see this looks pretty gnarly, and then underneath the lead, I could probably go back over that and re-lead load it again, but you know, you can't go too far with these things. But that's where the edge, that's where I finished there. And I think that looks pretty good, considering that how bad how rough that edge was. And like I say, this now sits on the other one, sits beautifully up against it. There should be a gap like that, like there is on the other car I just showed you. And what I basically need to do now is just trim down the other side to make sure it fits, to make sure that that gap is the same. And as I say, you can see it all the way up. So this would be the next one that I'd do. Basically how I did it was clean everything immaculately, get it right down to bare metal. This was only put on, this primer, just to stop it from rusting, because I didn't work yesterday. You know, get it all finished up, finish the extra tacks in it. They're very, very light tacks, they have to be, because they can't sit too proud. Clean all this up and then basically pinch this. You can see there's a gap there, and then pinch this so it's down against there, and use that as the lead barrier. So basically, once it's all clean, put your tinning compound, this tinning compound, into it, and then obviously it can't go underneath there because it's flush. So the lead will only stick to the tinning compound. So I put it all on, tinned it all, got it ready, and then and then basically took the lead bar and just basically drip feeded it in there, and then smoothed it off with the paddle. I got everything flat first, of course, but then, well, it's still hot enough, take these grips out and then just lift. So you can imagine that was in there. In fact, you can see it's all a bit bent. You can see where I went over with the lead, and then I just lifted this up, and it snapped right where it should do, because there's no lead underneath. And I think you agree that's not bad. As I said, considering how rough this edge is here, which was the same all the way along. In fact, that's the better edge over on that side. I think you can see a slightly better edge on that one. But this is the worst of the two. You can see how rough it is here, but there's nothing to play with. So I think this is the best scenario, just to cut that out. And it's amazing what you can do with lead, though. You can shape it really well. You know, and it'll be there, you know, 1,000 years after the metal's gone, that's for sure. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do both sides like that, get it all done, and as I said, it'll just be a little gap all the way down the side. You can see I can fit all that in and recreate this edge, and that'll be completely watertight because it's all welded all the way through. So anyway, so that's what I'm up to. I did promise to do some work on the Mini yesterday, but I didn't do anything. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to work on the Mini. Now I know this works, I'm happy that I can go on and do it to an even better point. I can lay some more lead in there and get those bits. But you know, it is under the seam, so but I want it to look as nice as possible. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching in. Sorry to the Mini guys, but as I said, I will crack on. I want to get all these wheel arches and things actually set in here absolutely perfectly, because the one thing I do notice on these Minis is, you know, these don't look right. They it sits at an angle there, which is wrong, and here in particularly you can see it doesn't look very nice on the front, so I really would like to get that sorted out. They do fit on nice, but I think they could be even nicer. Okay, so again, thanks for watching in, and talk to you tomorrow maybe. I should better crack on all day tomorrow. Bye for now, take care, and thanks again. Bye.